Then, should I let the volunteers die instead? I wasn't fond of that idea. Excuse me, I'm a monkey. I might have underestimated the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Couldn't control it at all. There were too many wills clashing from too many people. Surprised by Yasunaga's words, I fell silent and shot him a sidelong glance. Yasunaga, you... My guardian is the monkey. I don't like it one bit. The mountain sure works in mysterious ways, huh, Mom? Serious? I am. Yoshitsugu, Kanzo, I do believe that we must eliminate the wolves. But if we hang someone based on what happens outside the feast, we'll have major trouble in the future. There's still other things we can do. I am a monkey. As such, I want the other monkey to present itself. Wait, Yasu, guardians are too precious to reveal just like that. No, Taya. The monkeys are the only ones that should be revealed. You understand, Haru? Sorry, not at all. There are two monkeys, but they don't have any special powers. They're just monkeys. That means they're not much of a menace to the wolves. Revealing them instantly removes two suspects, making it easier to find the wolves. Oh yeah, they're just people, so they're safe. Well... no. Because the wolves would still kill them, because the villagers know they're safe, so they would still try to remove those first. I mean, there's less incentive to kill them immediately than there would be for a more important role. But it's still better than just... Actually, maybe it isn't. Maybe taking a random stab in the dark to remove one of the more important roles would be a better play. It's possible. I would have to do the numbers on that, but... It's possible trying to hit like the snake or the spider or something like that might pay off. Especially at a stage where there's still so many other people that have roles and, you know, aren't just wolves remaining. Like day 2 or day 3, I would probably think differently. Day 1, it might actually be worth to just, you know, take a shot in the dark instead. Now, please show yourself. This was a trap. The monkeys knew who the other monkey was. He didn't have to ask them to name themselves. He could just point them out. He also emphasized that being a monkey meant you were no longer a suspect. He wanted to set a trap for any wolves who didn't have a good grasp of the situation. If a wolf tried to pretend to be a monkey, Yasunaga and the other monkey would point it out, leading to the faker being hanged. Even if it didn't work, like you said, exposing the monkeys was a good way to get rid of two suspects. Everyone who knew who the monkey, how the monkey worked would understand this, but as things were, it wasn't unlikely that a wolf could fall for it. It was a simple, creative idea with no risks involved. And now that he'd come out as a monkey, he was confirmed to be human. That made me more relieved than anyone else here. I feel like with how he'd been acting, and especially how Haruaki had pointed out in the first run through that Yasunaga was mostly suspicious for failing to come up with plans and pointing out certain things. I feel like from long before he just now said he was a monkey, he was already, in my mind, confirmed a human in this run. This meant that he, the one who had a flawless victory as a wolf last loop, wouldn't be an enemy this time. I already knew that the Guardian assignments were completely different than last time, but it was still a nice thought. However, that idea was quickly flipped around. Yes, don't go acting big on your own. Big? Monkeys can reveal themselves. How many of you all agree with that? The only ones who raised their hands were Chikamochi Kamoshida, Kiyonosuke Nosato, Chiemi Serizawa, Hisako Mamiya, and Haru Makishima, who was kind of timid about it. Yasunaga included, that was 6 people, a minority of the 15 here. Acting big when no one understands a thing, then blabbing on while making yourself look right. That's what wolves do. Everyone suddenly stared at Yasunaga with pointed glares. Hold on, are you saying that Yasunaga's a wolf? He ain't wrong. You can't fake a monkey. He ain't a wolf. He's what he says he is. But don't go off without telling everyone how it is. The rest ain't as clever as you. Then let me explain it again. Yasunaga then borrowed Mochi's help to thoroughly demonstrate how two groups of monkeys would work. They showed how easy it would be to find out that Mochi, who was playing the part of the wolf, was a faker. So yeah, if you play the monkey, it won't last long, so it's better just not liars. To just not. Liars get the rope. I see, now I understand. Are there any of you who still don't get it? This time, no one raised their hands. Can we remove the old man and little girl? I'm not sure they understand. No. Kanzo shot her suggestion down, and since no one came to support her, she quickly gave up. Her worries were very reasonable. The feast, however, wasn't. Even if some people didn't understand their own roles, the wolves had to die or there would be no future for the humans. That was the Feast of the Yogi Purge. If they had guardians, their powers might be wasted. And if they were wolves, they had to be killed. I was pretty sure that the people of Yasumizu at least were certain that was how it would go. Everyone gets it. What now, Yasu? Other monkey, please name yourself. No one said anything, which meant that... Apparently the other monkey doesn't understand anything. That was a natural conclusion. However, no. Why aren't you saying anything, Kanzo? What? Old man, you're a monkey. Really? What a relief. Conscience human. How promising. They seemed genuinely relieved. You could tell by the sighs and whispers. It was true that it was good he wasn't a wolf. If he was and continued to take charge of the feast like he was, he could have probably killed everyone even more easily than Yasunaga. Why didn't you name yourself? However, not everything about this was perfect. Yasunaga had forced Kanzo to reveal his guardian against his will, which was probably his way of taking the lead. One of them knew how to use his guardian's power, the other didn't. Revealing that made Yasunaga seem more reliable. However, you ask me, I couldn't believe you until you pointed at me out yourself. That's just absurd. What should you doing? Yasunaga's first step went over the heads of most of those present, and Kanzo had used that against him. I mean, he has a point. Wait, does he have a point? No, he doesn't have a point at all. What is he rambling about? Like, because Kanzo knows that Yasunaga is the other monkey. Like, if he wouldn't know, then that could be... If the monkeys didn't know who they were, then that could just be a play by Yasunaga. Just kind of like, oh, what if, you know, the monkeys reveals themselves and I don't actually know it. But they both know they are monkeys. He had the makings of a dealer, and by scolding Yasunaga for his hastiness, he made it clear what the chain of command was here. As a result, Kanzo's control of the situation was stronger than before. That also meant that Yasunaga's plan to help me was negated, leaving me in the same danger as before. I had to act now. Excuse me, can I finally talk? I went and asked Kanzo. Talking out of turn here would just make me look like the bad guy. I don't want to die yet. It's not like my life's precious to me. I just think I can be more useful to you alive than dead. Makishima, this morning you told me that guardians appear in the stomach. Does everyone else notice? I watched everyone's reactions. They just made a little bit of noise. I forgot to say it. It's said that the guardian marks appear on the body. I think everyone from Yasumizu looked at themselves this morning. If you found a mark, you can't show it to anyone. You have to hide it? No, you can wash it off. I see. So outsiders like Hisako and Meiko might have not known about this. I told Meiko about it. No need to worry. Okay then. What about you, Mamiya? I didn't look. First I've heard about this. So it's possible that Mamiya has a guardian, but just doesn't know it. By the way, can we pause the feast? We ain't leaving until we decide who to hang. I see. So Mamiya will have to check if she has a guardian before tomorrow's feast and should be left alive until then. And if I had a guardian, you couldn't hang me. But if I didn't, you could. That's why you asked me that question this morning, right? Saw your stomach. Huh? The guardian's show on the stomach. And since you apparently concluded that I didn't have a guardian, you decided to hang me, right? Surprisingly, Kanzo grinned. You got a good head and tongue, I see. Kanzo, you're being too cruel. It's fine, Chiemi. I understand my position and knew this was how it would go. As a human, I don't plan to lie to survive, but I want just one more day. I'll use it to think of ways to help the humans win and find useful information. I'll present it to you tomorrow. If it's no good, you can hang me then. I didn't mention that I had a guardian, or whether the info I would present was based around guardian powers or simple strategy. I was weasel wording like mad. However, it was important to express some sort of self-sacrificial spirit in this situation. Araki. The effect was the same as when Chiemi did it. Not everyone here agreed that someone should die for the others, but this was a situation where everyone's lives were in danger, and here I was showing acceptance of my position. Everyone here could tell it wasn't something a wolf would do. The wolves were more likely to hide among the silent ones, not the ones who told the others to kill them. Everyone agrees with his words. The one we hang should be anyone besides the monkeys. Kanzo and I, Fuzaishi or Mamiya. No one objected. Do that then. I was in for a hell of a time on tomorrow's feast. However, the day I'd bought should have been enough to open up a path for me.
Who do we go for then? Why don't I just take out the village heads?
Yoshitsugu, shut up.
Takumi, you don't like him either, do you?
If you hang someone because you don't like him, you're the same as them, dammit. Yoshitsugu complained a bit, but then fell silent. He probably understood his point.
I have a suggestion.
Say it, Nosato.
This isn't getting us anywhere. We should choose someone by popular vote. Don't you agree, Sir Makishima?
Huh? What the hell? That's insane. I ain't choosing like that.
It's not insane. Do you have any other way to get the consensus of so many people?
We can talk it out and decide then.
Takumi, I understand how you feel, but... Can we really kill by popular vote? What do you think?
I agree with Nosato.
You too?
That works. Everyone was stunned that they'd accepted Kiyonosuke's proposal. Uematsu got something to write on.
I'm sure we do.
But eventually, everyone agreed to it. They must have understood that this was how it had to go. There was place for storage deeper inside the hall. That was probably where the sake and cup were kept. The inkstone case they kept there had fresh paper inside, and by Kanzo's command, Rikako began writing down what she had to.
Saishi.
Yes?
They prepared sake and writing tools. That means that someone knew this would happen, right?
This could happen. Yeah, the paper doesn't seem decades old either, and the water isn't rotten.
Doesn't that mean this whole thing was set up by humans? This building is a shrine to Great Lord Shinai. 2 times a year during the mountain festivals, the 4 head families of Kami Fujiyoshi present various offerings. Divine sake, writing tools, ropes, sickles. I was told these items had been kept here for a long time. That means that they weren't just for this time. But the head families still knew that they would be used, right?
I know nothing of that.
I'd been married into the Higuchi family for almost a year, but I never heard of that. Oh, I never mentioned that, did I?
So that's how it was.
Well, I was in the same situation myself for a while, but I never heard anything about that. Who'd tell you of all people? No one would want to share their secrets with you. I don't want to hear that from you, Uncle.
Sounds complicated.
I also did not know that the things here would be used. There might be something that only the Miguruma know, or perhaps only a select few of the village heads.
You lying bitch, you're the head of the Uematsu.
Oh.
Yoshi, he's writing.
What? You want to go, old fart?
Yoshi, cool off.
You two Takumi. Shit.
Oh man, I can't say I don't understand him. Mamiya has a point. This means that the heads just acted nice and tributed the stuff, knowing this would happen to us. Uematsu, you sure you don't know anything? You can just say it. It'll all make sense then.
I merely had a feeling that God would soon rise again.
Sudden, loud noises. They were caused by Chiyomi and Haru.
No way. But no, I really... God is...
What? Haru! The sudden burst of happenings was too much for me to keep up with. Haru Makishima suddenly started laughing out loud. Hanzo's face paled right before he ran over to her. Everyone else just stared at them, dumbfounded.
Haru, again?
Aren't you cured?
Haru, hang in there.
Out of the way, Chikamoshi. Crap. Nosuto, you know anything?
See, didn't I already tell you before that mental illnesses cannot be treated in a place like this?
Don't touch my granddaughter. Menacing and pushing everyone away, Kanzo embraced Haru tight. Haru, calm down. I'm here. I had no idea what was happening. God was sort of like a keyword. No idea why, but last time it had a profound effect on Chiyomi. Worked on Haru too.
What did you hear?
It had actually happened before. Was it different from the Okami in Shinai? Okami, wolf. Come to think of it, in addition to wolf, Okami could also mean great god. Was that significant? The wolf is coming. Not now, you old fart.
Takumi, no violence.
Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. And things were getting out of hand. Still, Haru eventually calmed down and, albeit still delirious, began talking normally.
What? Did I collapse? Anemia?
Keep it together.
Gee.
By the way, Chiyomi too had long since recovered, and she was now acting like nothing had happened. Why were they so ready to accept the feast itself when they freaked out like normal people over their own family and fellow villagers acting so weird? I could understand being scared of monsters. And curses too, for that matter. But they also had the insanity to hang their own mothers and accept being hanged by the ones they loved. It was something straight out of hell. Just how many times would I have to see this kind of thing before I understood it all?
I am done writing.
We'll get back at it in a moment. The climax was drawing near. Rikako had written a list of all the people participating in the Feast of the Yomi Perch. The penmanship was nice and the order was proper. It felt kind of like a petition or something. We'll vote starting from the end. Uematsu, you record who's voting for who. Chiyomi, Yasunaga, you check if she's doing it right.
Alright.
Okay.
We will not vote for Mamiya and Fusashi, correct?
That's what I'll do, but you decide on your own.
That sounds fair to me. We should think about what they said and decide whether we agree by ourselves. That's democracy. Uncle, you're kissing Haru's grandpappy's ass now. I'm simply saying what I think is true. Let us begin.
Is this how you act when you're about to choose who to kill?
Wolves must hang.
This is wrong. It's a real crime.
Hisako was very normal. I liked that. However, I didn't think it would help her survive for long. Who are you choosing, old fart? I had no idea if he understood the situation, but he did point at someone. Specifically, me. Huh? You will be.
Rikako, one vote for him.
Yes. This really is wrong. Why does everyone's vote have the same value?
You don't get it, then shut up.
What is it that I don't get? Tell me.
Mamiya, everyone must have the same voting power. I mean, if there was a way to remove it, the wolves could use it too. If you could use reasoning to remove someone's vote, that would be another thing for them to take advantage of. It would probably work against you as well.
After all, we probably have a number of people here who think that outsiders shouldn't vote.
Jamie grumbled while some others gave disgruntled frowns. I know it's unfair to you, but in order to protect Yasumizu from all this, we can't avoid putting our lives on the line. You want to survive, sure, but that's the attitude of a wolf. A human must not be against getting hanged. Unless you have a guardian anyway.
I'll check right after this is over.
Good. Next.
Uematsu, I'm voting for you. So that was his choice, huh?
You have a reason for that?
Not really.
Huh?
It's not that weird, is it? Hanzo thinks that everyone's suspicious, but also believes that we must sacrifice someone. If he can't go for Fuzaishi or Mamiya, the ones easiest to hang here are Uematsu or you, Nosato.
You're also...
I understand. I accept the vote.
I mean, I didn't think you have any other choice. Oh man, wow, you're next.
I don't really get it, but if Khan ain't voting for the outsiders, then I'll do the same. And Khan and Yasu aren't wolves, right?
That's safe to believe.
Then I'll vote for Yoshi.
Huh? You damn hag. Why?
You're so violent and don't listen to your mother. Your attitude must be the reason why the corruption came.
That's your reason. I get it. So you're a wolf who just wants to kill everyone you don't like.
I'm next. I'm voting for Meiko.
Well,
She came to us at this most inconvenient time and we don't know anything about her. It's too shady.
but she's so little.
I know, but what are we supposed to do if she's actually a wolf? It seemed like he had a point at first glance, but just so you know, I don't believe in monsters, but for all we know, it's possible we really will die if we don't follow the rules. Don't worry, if it comes to that, I'll hang her alone. That's all I'll say. Kaori, you're next.
Yasunaga, can I refuse the vote?
You shouldn't. This is the only way for humans to fight the wolves. People who don't vote could be considered silent supporters of the wolves.
Then who will you vote for?
Can I speak up before it's my turn? If you want. I'm planning to vote for Nosato.
What?
No one's shady yet. I agree with Kanzo on that. And since it's possible the village heads know something, you're entirely deserving of our suspicions, Nosato. Uematsu might be the same in that regard, but she moved to Yasumizu 3 years ago, while you only came here recently. That's enough reason to think you might know about this. That's all, really. It's nothing personal.
I see. So Yasumizu's hatred of Kami Fujiyoshi goes bone deep. I might have to change my outlook a bit.
Then I will vote for him too.
I thought as much. Well, I believe I understand your family to a certain extent. But hanging me will be a waste of a day. Keep that in mind. My turn. I'm voting for the new arrival.
Seriously?
Uncle, you're not kissing the old guy's ass anymore. No one's been kissing anything. I simply think he's trying to weasel his way into surviving without lying in the process.
I mean, that is certainly true.
I'm not completely confident, but as things are, the most suspicious person here is the one who had the least reason for wanting to survive.
Everyone wants to survive, damn it. Requesting anything better from a person who has been here only for a day seems a bit cruel.
Say whatever you want, that's it from me.
Unfortunately for me, he did have a point. I already said my vote. Mochi, you're next.
One for Uncle. Chikamochi, you too? I mean, it's looking to be a vote-off between you and Richan. Richan's a girl, so I figure I'll let you take it.
Mochi.
I have nothing against protecting Nikako, but that is an entirely different matter. Anyway, it's time for the one most likely to vote for Uncle, Yoshi.
One for Uematsu.
Huh? I just think she's shadier than the scrawny dumbass. Well, I wanted to vote for a certain hack here, but I guess it's more important to actually kill someone.
You do the same, Shie.
I'm voting for you, Yoshi.
Huh? Wait, what? Huh?
Yoshi, if you really aren't a wolf, you should stop picking fights with people. There's no guarantee that the wolves are all Kami Fujiyoshi's people, or the elders, you know? There's no proof you aren't a wolf either. I'm almost completely against everything Nosato's saying, but I agree with that much. I hope it's not you, but maybe my vote will encourage you to knock it off.
this for real?
Yoshitsugu, please calm down. Everyone, please, I beg you.
Don't worry, Yoshi. Don't worry. Yoshi won't die that easily. You're next, Haru.
That guy over there.
She pointed at me. Well, I can't blame you for not trusting me.
Haruaki. You're next, Rikako. I am voting for myself.
What? Is that allowed, old man? Nothing against that, right, Tai? I've never heard of this happening, but it ain't forbidden.
Rikako, I know what I said, but you don't have to force yourself like that. No, the spirit for self-sacrifice moved me and made me realize that perhaps my role here is to take in the hatred of everyone present. If you do not know who to vote for, please vote for me. Just please spare this little girl.
What was I supposed to do with this?
Mako, pick someone to hang.
Him. Goddamn brat. Don't bully Yoni.
Haruaki, you're next.
Kyonosuke, Yoshitsugu, Rikako, and I all had 3 votes each, while Mako had just 1. What if several people get the same amount of votes? Then the rest of us will vote to hang one from just them. Well, the suspects who'd go up next round would lose their right to vote, huh? That was something. But if that was how it worked, then what if there's a complete split on the second vote? That's what everyone wants, we won't hang anyone. Well, that was interesting. They'd go for a final vote by limiting the suspects and giving the voting right only to the rest. And if there were several in a limited group who received majority votes too, they could vote again. But if there was a completely perfect split among them all, then they couldn't cut the numbers down again, nor return back to square one, making it impossible to continue the voting. This was actually quite a delicate situation. The ones in the lead were Kyonosuke, Yoshitsugu, Rikako, and me, with Mako behind us with just 1 vote. Normally thinking I could vote for one of the other 3 to make sure I survived. Then, even if Mamiya picked me, I wouldn't die right away. There'd only be a final vote, which was dangerous in its own right. However, I didn't feel like voting for Yoshitsugu. His votes were mostly just a punishment for being a brat, so actually killing him would shock everyone present. There was also Kaori, who would most likely make a mess of the whole feast again later on. I wanted to avoid that. Then, was I to vote for Kyonosuke or Rikako? The former seemed like the better choice. He'd voted for me, and he'd probably prefer to die rather than see Rikako hanged. However, he really didn't feel like a wolf to me. Did I really kill him off just because the village heads like him were so resented here? What will you do, Mamiya? Why are you asking? Honestly, I feel like the very act of voting is risky right now, so I want your opinion. I will prevent a murder, if possible anyway. Did she also see it? She noticed the unlikely but possible way of preventing everyone's lynching. That helps the wolves, you know. Like I care. This is Japan. We have laws. If you're going to approve of crime just like that, I'm going to stop you like the good person I am. Are they both going to vote for Mako? Would that... I mean, that would leave 5 people and 3 votes. But I really do not have in my head right now how that would be reduced down if those 5 people's votes were removed entirely. I don't think it would still end up in a draw. Her words were just too reasonable. Honestly, I feel like a number of you here are voting to make a certain something happen. I mean, you wouldn't normally get votes spread out so evenly. Would a death in a situation like that really be a vote by consensus? Yeah, I didn't think I'd get a response. I had to think this through. In most situations, hanging someone was the way to make progress. However, I still had another option, the snake's power. If I didn't use it at least once, there'd be no point in me having it. First and foremost, I had to make it through this day. However, this was a situation without any clear enemies. If we picked someone arbitrarily, wouldn't it be bad for us in the long run? Yes. I couldn't help questioning that course of action. Well, there was no point in lying to myself. Honestly, I just really wanted to exploit this loophole in the rules. Okay, wait, let me actually think about this again. Because earlier, when I considered the 3 wolves and 12 humans, we weren't at the point yet where we had any roles confirmed. Right now, we have 12 humans, but out of those, 2 are monkeys, which are, wait, what was his name again? Yoshinaga? Yasunaga. And Kanzo. We have me as the spider, so that reduces it to 9. Well, yeah, never mind, no, it's still just a bad idea, no matter how I look at it.
If you are hesitant, vote for me, not Mako.
Rikako went and emphasized that. She really didn't have to worry though. Mako wouldn't die no matter what happened. Even if the remaining 2 votes went to her, she'd just become another option in the final vote, and the candidates would either be me or one of the village heads. Rikako would become a good dumping ground for votes. After all, she voted for herself and suggested that others do the same. She was by far the closest one to death. What she did was pretty much suicide. Did she have suicidal tendencies or something? She did seem a bit dim in certain ways, but not completely simple and idiotic. Huh?
If you are hesitant, vote for me, not Mako.
Why the emphasis? And why then?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't kill Rikako or Mako after all. That left me with only one answer. Oh. Rikako saw Mako's body. Like, probably when she's dressing her in the morning, she saw Mako's stomach, and she saw a symbol on there. Mako has a guardian. That's it. Okay. That reduces our numbers even more. We're still not at a point where it makes sense to sort of vote for anyone, really. But, I mean, our chances aren't that bad anymore. I vote for Mako. Okay, that's interesting. Mamiya voted for her too, meaning we had 5 people with 3 votes in them. We would then start a final vote centered around them. There were 15 people here. According to the rules Kanzo described, the 5 candidates would lose their votes, so only 10 would get to vote. That made for a very special situation. It was the key to creating a very unlikely situation where no one died. By the time my turn came, there were 4 people with 3 votes. If Mamiya gave the votes off to someone else, the final vote would only have 4 options and 11 voters. There was no way to divide them equally. Someone would have more votes, and we'd certainly have a hanging on our hands. Yeah, and if 2 people arrived at 4 votes, it would be the same situation. There'd be 13 people left, and they also could not create a draw. Yep. It would be fine if the split turned out to be something like 2-3-3-3, resulting in a final vote, assuming the one who got 2 got her vote back. But if it was something like 1-3-4-4, and those who got 4 would be voted on again, you'd either have 13 or 11 voters, an odd number regardless. However, there were 5 suspects and 10 voters now. If the votes were split evenly at 2-2-2-2-2, the voting would be cancelled and no one would be lynched today. Mamiya had realized this too. That was why she hadn't hesitated to vote for Mako. That left us with another problem though. After all, the sacrifice was as good as decided. Can we just vote for the same person? Kanzo was going for it.
Wait, let people vote again.
Chimi realized it and acted on it.
Yes, of course. Otherwise Rikako, please show me the results.
Yes, certainly.
Exactly. He'd realized it too, and looking at the results just confirmed it. Yep. Nosato would get it. Exactly. As things were, I, Yoshitsugu, and Mako would have 2 votes, Rikako would have 1, and Kyunosuke would come out on top with 3 votes. Of course, there wouldn't be any problems if the results changed, but got a reason for that.
Of course I do. What's the point of a final vote if we don't actually vote again?
She, did you vote to make the numbers the same right from the start? Jimmy fell silent. She had no rebuttal. The purpose of the final vote was to cut off the minority, those who had the votes, and let the majority's votes do the talking. That was why it was impossible to select anyone when the votes were split perfectly and there were no minorities or majorities. However, here in Yasumizu, where the suspects lost the right to vote, things were a bit different. By simply removing the right to vote, you already had a difference in votes, so it wasn't necessary to vote again, as the minority that should have done that didn't exist. The 10 who could still vote could vote for the same people, so why wouldn't they? Can't you people vote for the human sake? Those words rang powerfully in the ears of Yasumizu's inhabitants. People had to put their lives on the line for the human's sake. This isolated society considered that the right thing to do in voting again was a sin. Yeah, but his whole initial point is completely flawed. Voting, the chance to hit a human is so much higher than hitting a wolf, so you should not kill anyone without any information to go off of. It's just stupid. Who would insist on committing that sin? And I wonder, if he realizes that this is stupid. Because, well, he is a monkey, so he is human. So he has no reason to vote, in the wolf's favor as he is doing right now. Unless he has the severely flawed opinion that he, for some reason, has a clue on who is a wolf. Which he doesn't. Especially among the 3 who voted for Kionosuke. Which one of them would change their minds and vote for Rikako? There were actually only 2 ways left. Would Mochi change his mind or not? Oh, yeah. Honestly, this doesn't seem like it happens often. It's kind of interesting. Alright, I'm switching to Richan. Chikamochi! Old man, stop. Hanzo Makishima stood up and clenched his fist, but Takumi went after him just in time to stop him. That's just how Chikamochi is. You know that. Ends up helping the wolves because of it. He's a traitor. I know that. But you're feeling it too, right? Come on. Everyone here was gloomy and tired. They wanted to end this and leave as soon as possible. Sorry, it's just that none of us are prepared for this as you are. I am. But, Khan, there's no helping it. It's the law to hang according to group consensus. No. Don't come crying to me if you regret it. Feeling slightly guilty, everyone silently listened to Kanzo's words of condemnation. I really dislike this guy. He was dead so quickly in the first run that I just didn't really have much of an opinion of him. He seemed more normal, more likable, but he's really annoying me in this one. The first day's feast had ended, and I'd actually contributed to the group not killing anyone. Something I was completely against last time. Kanzo left the hall in a deafening silence. After he was gone, everyone else slowly stood up and left. They all wore varied expressions of relief. Rizaishi, I want to talk to you later. Alright. Hearing that as I left was actually kind of scary.
Hey, Haruaki.
Oh?
Haruaki, can I have a moment later?
Whoa.
Don't act like hot shit just because you have a pretty face, you lunatic.
So that's what this was about.
Hey, talk with me too.
Word sticks. Let me just ask you to stop with that name. Yes, please.
Wanna talk to me?
You're just gonna try to prank me again.
What's going on here?
Hey, careful with the secret meetings. The one to interrupt the weird event was Takumi. I know the mist is about, but Yasumi's is small. You'll be heard even if you whisper, and it'll be barely half a day before everyone knows what you're talking about. You shouldn't share anything too important. Thanks for the warning. That was true. Even if someone did share a secret with another person, there was no guarantee it would be kept. Plus, keeping secrets would sow distrust, and meetings with the opposite gender could also spark jealousy. I didn't want anyone to spend the next feast talking about how I was a wolf having secret meetings or something. Better to discuss things out in the open, where there would be witnesses.
Saishi, we must prepare lunch. You good with a knife?
Somewhat. And so it was time for food. We didn't have much besides the ingredients we'd had this morning, but there was some curry roux in the storage, so we started with that. However, it was just one family-sized box. It wasn't quite enough for 15 people. We ended up filling the thin curry sauce with soup stock, salt, and soy sauce. The resulting flavor was pretty potent. The curry we ended up with was more of a soup, but the diners seemed to like it. Apparently curry like this wasn't unusual here, but it was only brought out for special occasions. This was actually Yasumizu's local curry. That made me kinda sad, but it wasn't enough to stop me from eating what should have probably been called curry rice gruel or something. Then I washed the dishes and checked on everyone. Since Takumi suggested we stay close together, we spent our time in the slightly cramped dining hall. Hanzo left, though, saying something about looking around. "Stay here. Call out when you step out or I'll shoot you dead." A threat like that made everyone pretty reluctant to leave. He had the right idea, though. Splitting up before had rapidly thinned the number of humans. That was fine and all, but the threat seemed a bit much. It felt like Hanzo was tripping his own death flag. I wouldn't mind. The ones left at the dining hall were chatting, with the students being the most talkative. They talked about their studies while Chiemi spoke of her time in college. Apparently Chiemi was majoring in linguistic anthropology. When asked what that involved, she answered reading books and writing reports, so it didn't seem like her seminars were particularly formal. No one discussed the feast though. That was related to what Takumi had said, which seemed like an unwritten rule here. Whatever the case, everyone was way more cheerful than they were this morning. Chikamochi occasionally spoke to the old wolf guy, who was sitting in the corner of the room, while Kyonosuke did the same with Rikako. Mamiya seemed slightly uncomfortable though. I'd have to talk to her later. There was some segregation and it felt a bit cramped, but it did seem peaceful. It was objectively an awful situation though. No matter how everyone here felt, one of us would definitely be targeted tonight. The current atmosphere was probably better than doom and gloom, but it was bad that no one was interested in reviewing and analysing today's feast. Who would be the target today? After today's feast, I could see several people that were a threat to the wolves. The ones taking the lead were Kanzo and Yasunaga. The two were monkeys and extremely charismatic to boot. They had both insisted on hanging someone for reasons other than personal grudges, and that was all great. However, Kanzo's assertiveness made him stand out, while, as Kanzo aptly pointed out, Yasunaga had a habit of getting ahead of himself. It wasn't good that there was some sort of rivalry between them. Kanzo normally commanded a lot of respect, but the young ones, like Yoshitsugu and Mochi, had a tendency to rebel. The humans' ultimate goal was to wipe out all the wolves, but since their lives were on the line, they could easily switch priority to taking the lead. If they had different ways of approaching the situation, you'd get a confrontation between the generations with the elders against the youth. That would waste some time and effort. If that happened, humans would once again lose all hopes of winning. Yasunaga had eventually fallen silent today, but I hoped he'd recover by tomorrow and properly cooperate with Kanzo. And I hoped they would do it in a way that ensured my survival. What did the wolves think of those two? They both had to be eliminated or led into destroying one another. Both seemed plausible. By going for someone else though, they had a chance of taking out a different Guardian receiver, and which one of those seemed more advantageous to them? I also had to keep Takumi and Kyonosuke in mind. Takumi was right between the elders and the youth. I had no idea what he was planning to do next, but he had the power to swing a lot of votes. Kyonosuke was pretty powerless in that regard, but since he wanted to protect Rikako so badly, he could get Tai's cooperation. Rikako and Meiko had to be protected. That was something I'd decided. It would be pretty bad if I was making a mistake there though. Also, I'd found out that Mochi was a real joker. He'd probably vote for whatever seemed funny or interesting. Things had gone my way thanks to his whimsicality this time, but I felt like this wouldn't be the last time he'd pull a stunt like that. As I thought to myself, I finished washing the dishes.
Thank you. Let's have some tea.
Oh, I'd love some. I passed the counter and walked up to the table. Hello, good work in there.
You already seem pretty used to your job.
I had to do this much when I still lived with my parents. Look, I hear that? You all have it good here. Study hard.
I know. I don't. That's why I'll break all the plates he fixed. Plates aside, stop calling me that. And what should I call you? Hassan, maybe? Sounds good. You can call me Mochi then.
Yo, Mochi.
Aye, Hassan.
By the way, Fusashi, you got nothing to say about this guy's clothes? Oh, I forgot. Looks kinda good on him. It's not uncommon these days.
Cute, ain't it?
Seriously? You got lots of these in Tokyo? Not a lot, but yeah, they're around. I don't get it at all. Oh, Chikamochi's special though, so I don't think anything of it.
I'm a natural wonder.
Natural disaster, maybe. Now, Fusashi, may I have a moment? The tension in the air grew palpable. You forget what I said? No, I didn't, but you can't expect anything shady from me, can you? I'm a monkey. Well, that's true. Just don't overdo it. Alright, let's head upstairs.